Alrighty, folks, it is time for round one of GP Dawnbloom Grove. We're up against Lilithor on green-white, kind of just like a big white deck with a green splash here. A lot of mono-white staples that we've started seeing over the last few months. Stack Conviviplex and Welcome Eviction are the big ones. But also lower curve stuff like Laystone of Being. Here is a full 4 of, full 4 contest coordinator, and it's kind of like a low curve early game stuff suite where there's just a bunch of interactive spells and permanents that just kind of get to sit and play and be kind of annoying, trying to come up with a board and pad the life total over the early turns. Again, Laystone of Being just gets to pad life totals, and then can be fetched off of Contest Coordinator to cycle it to get more tokens off of it later on, because you only get the token baseline on it being in play on the starting turn. 2 Plasma Strikes for some removal, but that's also backed up by a full 4 Welcome Eviction, 1 Castless Belly, and full 4 Sanctum of Repression. So there's a lot of removal here for them to kind of pick off what we've got going on. 4 Planeswalkers between 1 Cassia the Carefree, 1 Illustrious Shengfa, and 2 Dutiful Wanderer. Wanderer able to pick off one of our things while flickering their Contest Coordinator to get more value, or, flickering, Purifier of Dawnbloom Grove, could flicker Renowned Rough Rider or Survivors of the New World. There's a lot of really sticky, really annoying creatures in this deck that are going to give us some trouble. And from my recollection from the GP decklist stream, Purifier is specifically here, and there's 2 more in the sideboard here, to kill Fabricated Anomalies. So that's going to be a bit of a problem for us, but lots of pretty scary things going on here. It's a pretty good, mid-rangey, slower value deck that can just pile on stats with something like Darisha, or just grind out the game with Survivors of the New World plus Flicker effects. Can buy a ton of time by sticking a Welcome Eviction, which is a 7 mana permanent, costs 1 less for each planes you control, and each card with a cycling ability in the graveyard, which means cycled Laystones also discount it. And then can use Welcome Eviction to pick off one of our things, and then Rejuvenation Session, look at the top 7 cards of their library, gain 7 life, and they get 2 creature, enchantment, and or land cards from that top 7, so that can find them a creature and another Oblivion Ring style effect on top of gaining 7 life with a Welcome Eviction in play. And even without Welcome Eviction in play, Survivors in the New World means that gains 4, looks at the top 4. Darisha looks at top 5, gains you 5. Dutiful Wanderer gains 5, lets you look at the top 5. Shengfa lets you look at the top 6 and gain 6 off of Rejuvenation Session. So Session's a really strong card. There's a lot of really good ways to sort of slow the game down and to make up for the fact that their cards really want them to have a lot of planes. The green sources are pretty limited. There's 3 Hopeful Soul Space, which are forest planes, but they always enter tapped. Full 4 Shocklands here in the Verdant Sanctum, and then 1 Thicketed Path. So not a whole lot of green fixing, but their green cards are pretty scarce. They've got the 1 Purifier, the 2 Survivors, one Vow's Reflection in the main, and then otherwise it's the 3 Rejuvenation Sessions, and the rest is sideboard stuff. Our best advantage in this matchup, especially post-board, is the fact that their graveyard hate of choice is Archival Storage, meaning we can remove Archival Storage even without Purifier being active as a reprieve, for our case, because we do have 2 of these in the sideboard as well. But one other nice advantage is because they have so many enchantments, Purifier has a lot of reach beyond just removing Archival Storage. So we're almost certainly boarding those in. We'll see what else feels right when we get into the game here. So, round 1 of a GP, we are going to roll to see who goes first. I rolled a 20. That's a pretty good start. Alrighty. 4-lander, not what I would have ever expected out of an opening hand from this GP. But, I mean, this is super workable. We can go turn 2 Exorcist, turn 3 Fabricated Anomaly, and just loot away the extra basic. And I think we go Urban Jungle tapped here on turn 1. Actually, maybe we go Profane Grove tapped on turn 1, Primal Fissure fetch for a mountain. And then we can save the Urban Jungle, cycle away the forest with the Anomaly. Yeah. I like that. All right, we both keep. We're going to play Profane Grove tapped and pass. Kind of awkward to be going on Profane Grove tapped on turn 1 with 12 1-drops in the deck, but with the hand that we've got, I think we're not passing up Exorcist plus Anomaly. Laystone of Being is going to be a bit of a problem. So they gain 1, they make a 1/1. This could be worse. This could be a lot worse, but Laystone just buys them so much time. We're going to draw. Of course, we find the Husk Forger after turn 1. We're going to play Primal Fisher, crack, go find a mountain. This gets a card in the graveyard for Fabricated Anomaly. So next turn we can play Anomaly, cycle something to the puzzle box, swing Exorcist, and make it a 3/4. We are going to go for the Exorcist here. Already the Black Splash coming in strong. We'll see if there's anything they want to get rid of here based on what they put up face up. I wonder what in their hand they would ever want to put face up here. I think, the case with a lot of Exorcist targets is you never want to put anything face up because ideally you get to keep everything in your hand, but it's something you kind of have to accept some concessions on and realize that, yeah, you are going to have to lose some things here. We'll see if something gets done about this, but I don't imagine. So one other thing that's really awkward. We see Cassia the Carefree, Survivors of the New World, and Dutiful Wanderer. My goodness, those are the piles that they say. I'm gonna take the Survivors. I think the Planeswalkers are both troublesome. Well, remember they have one of each, Dutiful Wanderer and Cassia the Carefree. And we'll pass. Part of why I think, despite Wanderer being a very strong Planeswalker, I don't think I'd ever want to take this in this situation because with 1 land in play, 3 unknown cards in their hand, they don't currently have the mana to play Wanderer. Obviously they can draw more lands over the next several turns, but they're not at that point yet. We see Contest Coordinator come down here, gets to look at the top 5. So that was either one of the 3 unknowns or the top deck for the turn. Plains presumably was one of the 3 unknowns there. So in the most charitable case where that was 3 lands in hand, then it was Plains, Contest Coordinator was the draw, or maybe they had 2 lands plus Contest Coordinator in the keep. They're finding a hopeful Soul Space here. So it's going to be a tap land next turn, but unless they've got something else interesting going on there, there's not a whole lot that gets them. Right, we're going to untap here. We will draw Calamity Cat is pretty good. I think here I'm actually in on not playing the Urban Jungle. I'm going to go Forest and possibly pitch the Husk Forger to the puzzle box because I think I'm more interested in just hitting land drop next turn and going, untapped Urban Jungle, cast Calamity Cat, cast Reaper, hold up the green to rebuy a land with Reaper maybe. Yeah, so we're going to go Forest. We're going to play the Anomaly. Let's make a puzzle box. Let's loot away Husk Forger. We draw a card. Gilded Noon Entertainer, pretty good. Let's go to combat. We're going to send in here with the Exorcist, make it a 3/4. That's going to be a bigger headache for the opponent. See if they want to block. Okay, they're going to take 3 here. And we pass. The biggest concern here with Laystone of Being is that if they cycle a Laystone of Being while they're at a low life total, they actually make a gigantic creature because Laystone's token is not just based on how much life you have above your starting life total, it's based on the difference between where you are now and 20. So if we get them down to like 5, they make a 15/15. It's really, if we get them down to 5, they gain 1 life at the end step, then they make a token, so they make a 14/14. Still devastating stat line, but in an ideal world we don't have to worry about that too much. We untap and draw here. We find an Ignited Soul. I think that changes the plan a little bit, not too much. So one of the awkward things here is we don't have a clean way to get Fabricated Anomaly ready, and I think especially with planes up to hold up Plasma Strike, I'm not in on swinging the Ignited Soul in here. Or sorry, swinging the Fabricated Anomaly in. We want to develop Reaper here. I think we want to develop Reaper and Calamity Cat. So let's shock this in. Let's go to combat and ship in for 3. Let's just have that be the only attack here. Little worried that they could go block with Avatar Token. They're just going to take damage, though. I was like, they could block Avatar Token and trade off Avatar Token plus a Plasma Strike here. But they did not, in fact, end up going for that. So we're going to run out a Calamity Cat here. And we will run out a Reaper of Blossoms. The question here then becomes, do we value developing the Ignited Soul, or do we value looting away the Ignited Soul, holding on to Gilded Noon Entertainer, and then using Reaper of Blossoms here? I think we value Reaper of Blossoms. We'll go to end step, Reaper trigger. We reveal Profane Grove, Reaper, and Urban Jungle. I will pay a green and get, I think, the Urban Jungle. So probably looting this Ignited Soul here because we didn't keep it. I may loot the Urban Jungle, though, to Puzzle Box here, just for the sake of holding on to the Ignited Soul to pitch to Gilded Noon Entertainer. We see 4 mana, probably Cassia coming down here. It is, in fact, Cassia the Carefree. Probably just making a 2/2 cat. Yep, makes a cat. Cassia sitting on 4 loyalty here. This is kind of an annoying planeswalker to have to deal with. We'll see if we can find a good avenue to get rid of it. I think I'm in on pitching the Urban Jungle. We've got 1-drop, 2-drop. Our lands are kind of covered right now. Let's pitch the Urban Jungle and draw a card. Find a second Gilded Noon Entertainer. We untap and draw. Second Fabricated Anomaly is interesting. Kind of awkward because we really would want to play a Gilded Noon Entertainer here and haste it up, but we can't do that with Anomaly. Unless we go like Anomaly, Puzzle Box, try and find the 5th land. We could go Anomaly, no haste with Calamity Cat, and then just hold up Reaper of Blossoms. We could also go Anomaly, haste up the Anomaly with Calamity Cat, and maybe even Puzzle Box away Gilded Noon Entertainer. So if we play Anomaly, we Puzzle Box away Ignited Soul, we Puzzle Box away whatever is better, one of the entertainers, and then we have choices for Calamity Cat. I think actually we hold on to the Ignited Soul because if one of our puzzle boxes flips into a Dawnsworn Survivor, we really want to hold on to that. I think I have talked myself into going for the Anomaly first, though. So we're going for Anomaly. We make another puzzle box. We're going to loot away a Gilded Noon Entertainer to draw a card. We find a second Exorcist. I don't think I'm keen on holding on to that here. Is that better than Entertainer, actually? The first strike is really good. I think I'm going to loot away the second Entertainer here. Find a third Fabricated Anomaly. Okay. I think in that case, we're going to hold on to the Ignited Soul. We're going to use Reaper at end of turn. Maybe we Calamity Cat away the Anomaly to haste up Anomaly here? Alternatively, we put a counter on Ignited Soul, pitching third Anomaly, hold on to Exorcist. We swing with Ignited Soul, Calamity Cat. Sorry, Ignited Soul, Reaper, Fabricated Anomaly, Exorcist. Exile all 6 cards in our graveyard to put a counter on Anomaly, Reaper, and Ignited Soul. So we get a 3/3, a 3/4, and a 3/4. That's pretty tempting. They don't really have much in the way of sweepers, is the one advantage we have here. So, you know, we can fight the board pretty well. I think I am just better off suiting up the Fabricated Anomaly, though. And I think I am better off... I think I'm better off actually losing the Exorcist here. So we're going to shed the Exorcist of Errors, +1/+1 counter on Fabricated Anomaly. That's at 4 toughness. And let's rumble in. We pop out the graveyard. We are swinging in with everything. I'm going to eat 2 cards for this, and I'm going to eat Exorcist Reaper, keep the 2 entertainers for this. So they both get +1/+1 counter. All at... actually, do I do all at you? Because if I do all at Cassia, it's really rough on the basis of, like, they just untap, go for land drop Wanderer, Wanderer away, Exorcist of Errors, and Flicker Contest Coordinator. But if they block with everything going at Cassia, we do get to get in for a decent chunk here. I got as far as knowing I wanted to make this attack and didn't get as far as didn't think about where this was going. If I get in with everything at Li, I take them to 6. Wanderer prevents me from swinging in with everything, but I think I need to push them into a corner and accept that they lose Cassia. As much as this loses me a lot of momentum, I think I need to shut off their Planeswalker engines before they get Wanderer down to make attacking harder for me. This feels really rough to burn 12 damage on a 4 loyalty Planeswalker here. But especially with Cassia being able to be reset for 4 mana, I can't risk Wanderer plus Cassia just coming into play here. This feels really rough. If they block with everything, they get a pretty free block here. Or if they don't block with anything, they get a pretty free gain 8 off of Cassia, in addition to the 4 damage she absorbs for her base loyalty. Don't love burning 12 damage here, but we know that they have Wanderer in hand. Liz says, wow, Cassia is such a good life gain spell. Yeah, again, ultimately, I don't think we can afford to let Wanderer plus Cassia stall up the board. Maybe it would have been advisable to send 1 creature at Lit. I think it would have been maybe advisable to split the anomalies. But they're actually going to block triple block Reaper of Blossoms. I'm going to kill the tokens here, and actually, if we know they're sitting on Wanderer, I think I let the tokens live, kill Contest Coordinator. Kill Concord, kill Cassia, I lose Reaper. So Conquest Coordinator can no longer tee up a Wanderer Flicker here. And I think I do run out the Ignited Soul now on second main. It's a little awkward, especially if I draw a Survivor, but I think I just need to get this in play, make sure I spend my mana. And then get this Menace creature into play is very important as well. We see pay 1, cycle Laystone of Being. Okay, one advantage here is this means that end step they only make a 1/1 rather than anything larger than that. That's actually huge for us that we see a Laystone cycle this turn rather than after we just put a bunch of damage onto them. So that's a big gain. They are going to get a 3/3 because they shock an Verdant Sanctum, but still, 3/3 Laystone is much better than us having hit them down to 6, and then they gain. They make a 13/13. This could have been so much more disastrous. We see a Purifier of Dawnbloom Grove. Will it blow up a Fabricated Anomaly or will it blow up a puzzle box here? They're bouncing to kill an anomaly. This is actually great for us. Especially since we kept an anomaly in hand. Purifier doing its job is perfectly fine. So they gain 1, make a 3/3. That's going to be kind of annoying. Let's untap, draw, find an Ignited Soul. Let's loot away Ignited Soul. Draw a card. 4 an encounter is interesting here. Maybe we go for encounter. I think actually at this point, 3 anomalies seen, 1 in hand, 1 in play, 1 in graveyard. I think an encounter's best hit being gone means I am inclined to possibly even spend mana to cycle this rather than hold on to it. Yeah, let's pay a green to cycle for an encounter. We find Swamp. I think we are good to loot that away as well. Dawnsworn Survivor, just a second too late. I think I'm kind of cool to play Fabricated Anomaly, and then I think what I'm looking at is I don't use the puzzle box on Dawnsworn Survivor. I hold the Survivor with the idea that next turn I can Calamity Cat haste the Survivor. Anomaly number 3. Purifier can only do so much. So one thing to consider here is we have 7 cards in our graveyard. What is the value to binning and exiling Dawnsworn Survivor here? If we do that, we have 8 cards to work with. We have 2 potential anomaly triggers. We could, could potentially pump up with Calamity Cat. Liz says, but Purifier will enter many times. Yeah, but what if I 3 + 2 + 3 is 8? Dang it. Okay, so how about this? 3 + 6 is +1 is 7, +2 is 9. If we Calamity Cat discard Survivor on, say, Anomaly here, then we send in Ignited Soul for 3, Anomaly for 4, Exorcist for 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get to keep 2 cards in graveyard. We can keep Survivor in graveyard. And I think if we're doing that, I think we puzzle box away the Survivor first. That assumes we don't draw something we want to keep is the problem. This is tricky. Because we do still want to try and put them in a position to lose the Purifier here. Yeah, I think we want to use Puzzle Box here. We find Calamity Cat. I am fine pitching that here. We're going to put a counter on... Put counter on Anomaly and then just eat 9 cards. Like, just eat the Survivor because we're empty-handed? I don't hate that. Because, like, Calamity Cat will be around in case we find any Phoenixes. Yeah, we're pretty low on cards in hand anyways. Yeah, let's go buff up the Anomaly. And let's just eat the Dawnsworn Survivor. Threaten 12. We're going to get a double block. Oh, double block here, giving up the tokens rather than giving up the Purifier. Pretty wise here. So they take 8, go to 9. We will kill the Avatar. They do get back survivors here, though. And that's pretty rough for us, unfortunately. Yeah, and we're already seeing Laystone being so good here because it has gained it. They put it in play turn 1. They have 5 lands, and I don't believe they've missed a land drop, so they would be at 5 rather than 9, and that is actually monumentally important considering Wanderer's condition on how it modifies attacking. So that is a bit of a headache for sure. We are seeing pay 4, play survivors. Yup. Yeah, that is going to give us so much trouble here. I think the best case scenario here is we use the puzzle boxes and dig for one of our 2 copies of Avalanche. Because Abominable Avalanche clears all 3 of these tokens, and then we can just kind of punch through a lot more effectively. They go to 10. We untap, we draw Ignited Soul. We are immediately looting away the Ignited Soul for a mountain. We are immediately looting away the mountain. We find Gilded Noon Entertainer. We're going to loot that away for a Calamity Cat. Unfortunate. All right. What's the plan here? Yeah, we're in a whole heaping amount of trouble here. This deck is really good at coming up the board, and we are feeling the absence of one card in particular from the previous build. Kieran Aboons here would be so good because we could swing in with both anomalies. We could put a +1/+1 counter on Ignited Soul with Calamity Cat, and then use Kieran of Boons shut off all 3 survivors from being able to attack, from being able to block. And this is the kind of situation where I have described in the past that I think Kieran of Boons was the most unfair thing we were doing in May. And I'm feeling its absence right now. The lower +1/+1 counter synergy count made me more sketchy on running it, but I am missing it here. And I wish the +1/+1 counter granters were a little better overall, so we could have like 1 more in the deck to make Kieran of Boons hum. Because I really wish I had it here. I think the play is just swing with both anomalies. Potentially swing with both anomalies and Ignited Soul. And if they offer up Purifier as a multi-block with any number of survivors, we just put all damage on the Purifier, let the survivors live. It's possible that they just let it all through, but I don't think that's very likely. Okay, options. I think we do have to just get in. We have to hold the Calamity Cat here. I think I like swinging in with everything. I like putting everything but the Calamity Cat. I like putting a counter on Ignited Soul with each of these. We're going to keep the Exorcist in the graveyard. And see what they do. This is technically a lethal attack. It's never getting in for lethal. I just have to push in damage and hope that I can find a window to get through. But yeah, Kieran Aboons, I feel like, that is the loss here. Gilded Noon Entertainer, not a great showing, but it's just sort of a case of this card really wants to be in play early. We are seeing Survivors both make the block. And Plasma Striking the Ignited Soul. So Ignited Soul down. Move to damage, kill both Survivors tokens. What was gotten here? Oh, Survivors flipped into Survivors. Good lord. Yeah, I don't think we're coming back from that. And they got a contest coordinator. Yeah, that's pretty hard for us to fight through. We're just gonna hold on the Calamity Cat for now, but I will say we do have a potential out to salvation here. Not if this comes down though. Dutiful Wanderer, yup. This is gonna flicker Purifier, kill one of my anomalies here. Actually, this is gonna flicker Purifier, kill both anomalies here. I think if they go, 2 mana, play Contest Coordinator, Wanderer, Flicker, Purifier, Purifier, pick up Contest Coordinator, exile Anomaly, destroy Anomaly with Purifier, we are out. We are just so done. I'm hovering F2 here. Looks like it was a whiff. Nope. Okay, they did grab something. Welcome Eviction is seemingly the card they got here. Yeah, -3 Wanderer. Yep, I don't need to see the rest of this. We're out. All right, that is a very rough game one here. Lots of things to think about boarding in. I think Exorcist's a little sluggish here, but I do think we have some value to get off of a couple things here. Purifier of Dawnbloom Grove, much like it is good for them, it is pretty good for us. I think we are going to be in on Ozon's Blessing, and I think we're going down for an encounter whenever we want Ozon's Blessing in. I think I like having the Avalanches. I like having Terminal Impact. The other thing I think we might want is Anik Oathbound, honestly. Just as a sort of, I think if there is a matchup where we really want Davika just -1ing the opponent every turn, it is going to be this matchup. So we're going to try and get Anik Oathbound to work here. Things that can afford to go, I think especially if we are out on for an encounter, Spirit Realm Phoenix looks a little more weak, so let's get out the Spirit Realm Phoenixes. I think we can probably go down to 3 Survivors here, and then maybe we go down like some number of Reaper of Blossoms. We go down like 1 Reaper, 1 Gilded Noon Entertainer, with the knowledge that Ozon's Blessing can find them if we really, really want them in play. And let's run it like that. Really rough to get gotten by the one-ofs there, because so much of Liz deck is kind of very narrow pinpoints. One of Cassie the Carefree, one of 2 copies of Dutiful Wanderer, one of 2 copies of Plasma Strike, the only copy of Purifier, one of 2 copies of Survivors in the New World. So a lot of things coming together there that just, there's so few copies in the deck, but they showed up anyways. And that's just how it happens sometimes. Oop. I will pass to me. This is turn 1 Husk Forger, turn 2 Anik plus Ignited Soul, or Reaper of Blossoms hold up. No, can't hold up anything, but I could go Could go like turn 1 Ignited Soul, turn 2 Reaper, maybe? I don't love that. The best value of getting Ignited Soul in play is I can loot away this Anik. But the problem is I have to use my Shockland to do so. I think I actually like Primal Fisher for Forest, run out Husk Forger on 1, turn 2 Ignited Soul Reaper. And while it does cost me the Shockland for Anik, I can try and find the Shock off of Reaper here. But yeah, turns out when you don't play the most powerful thing in the old build of the deck, you are prone to getting board stalled. Let's see if our new potentially most powerful thing ends up actually being the new most powerful thing in the deck, though. Would not mind an anomaly draw here. Also wouldn't mind an untapped land draw here so I can play Devika on turn 3. That would be pretty cool. I do find it amusing that we boarded in 13 of the 15 cards in our sideboard, which just goes to show how much the tools in our sideboard can be really important. We untap, we draw Ozon's Blessing. Let's run out Reaper. Let's shock in Ignited Soul. End step, Reaper trigger. We mill Ignited Soul, Ozon's Blessing, Reaper. Okay, no land mist there. We do reveal we went up Ozon's Blessing. We have a couple shots to try and find the untapped, the shock land for Anik here. We see Contest Coordinator come down. Laystone of Being is found off of Contest Coordinator. That's kind of unfortunate, but we can use Ozon's Blessing to pick that off. We will draw the untapped land, but it's not going to quite be enough for Anik Oathbound to flip this turn. So I'm going to get in with these. I will probably just Avalanche if they... Yeah, they block. So we'll get in for 1. Let's loot away Anik Oathbound and draw a card. We find another Husk Forger. Main 2, let's go Forest, Avalanche. Yeah, they know exactly how we're splitting it. I'm content doing this and holding on to the Husk Forger. I think I'm looting away this second Husk Forger here. Actually, hold on. End step trigger. I meant to leave green up for Reaper. Good if I retap. Actually, have to leave Forest up. Need red for Avalanche anyways. So I can't use green colorless to cast Avalanche. So we're gonna mill 1, 2, 3. We see Purifier go. We see Husk Forger go. That's unfortunate to lose Purifier here. I'm gonna pay a green and get back the Forest. One of the things that I'm feeling with Reaper so far is the mill can be kind of awkward. I like this card in a lot of contexts, but I will acknowledge that there is some clunkiness to it. We will untap and draw, pick up a Fabricated Anomaly. Hello, gorgeous. Well, let's go for that. Let's loot away the Husk Forger Acolyte, draw a card. We find Mountain. I think that means we're probably good to pitch this Forest to Ignited Soul here. Let's go to combat. We will eat Primal Fisher, Ozon's Blessing, and Ignited Soul to put counters on both. I wouldn't put it past them just double blocking Ignited Soul here. Be a little awkward for us, but I could see them doing it. I think if they double block, though, just picking off the Reaper while they have a chance is pretty good. Opponent's thinking. We might be able to get in with both. Let's see what happens here. Suppose while my opponent is thinking, I'll take some time to acknowledge that the sideboard plan here is almost certainly up Archival Storage, up Purifier, up on Plasma Strike. Probably taking out, Illustrious Shangfa just comes down too slowly. Probably going down the one Darisha because you just don't really need it. Possible that they wanted the Looming Psyhawk just to say no to the anomaly tokens, but I think that's just a lot worse than going for Purifier. Possible that they wanted to go for Golden Bloom to shut off anomaly text, but not as good as just removing anomaly. So the big ones there are really just Archival Storage, turn off the abilities in our graveyard, and then Purifier, kill our anomalies. Take advantage of the fact that these are enchantment creatures. But I do not love our odds here. Opponent at 17, and once again, really feeling the sting of no Kieran of Boons. I'm going to probably say that a lot this month. This card is just such a fantastic piece of glue to make the deck hum. We do see the double block on Reaper here. All right, we will kill the Rough Rider. So they make another human token, but that is Rough Rider down, and that is Reaper down. They take 2. We are going to loot away the Forest for another anomaly. All right, we are going to play Mountain main phase 2 and then pass. Hey, not the best position to be in, and there are definitely some draws they could have here that are pretty spooky. Up to and including one Survivor of the New Worlds. Laystone of Being coming down here. That is fine because we have Ozon's Blessing for the other Purifier here. They're cycling Laystone. That is less fine. That is significantly less fine. Good lord, that is really bad, actually. Man, Laystone of Being is just so good. Even with us killing it here, they make a 6/6. And if I'd held up Ozon's Blessing, that attack would have been so much worse, but I would have had Ozon's Blessing to pick off the Laystone on their second main phase. 2 mana. Another Contest Coordinator. And we knew the one Laystone was there because it was found off of Concord, but the second one is a shocker. Also not a shocker is Archival Storage coming down here. Who could have guessed that was getting warded in here against the Graveyard deck? Yeah, I do not like our chances here. This is just looking really, really rough. They make a 6/6. All our hard work has just been completely stymied. There is really no value to attacking with anything right now. We will draw an Urban Jungle. And hello, that gives us some outs. I almost feel like I want to puzzle box the anomaly with that draw. Because we shock in Urban Jungle, cast Anik Oathbound, and then we have 2 mana to spare. And if I'm trying to get Abominable Avalanche online before the Archival Storage comes into play, Actually, Anik isn't even that good, because what is Anik doing for us that uh actually matters? Because the -1 doesn't help. Like, we kill a human token, whoop-de-doo. Yeah, that's just ugh. It turns out token's good against edicts. Yeah, I think it's got to be Shock and Urban Jungle, Ozon's Blessing, Kill the Laystone, Fabricated Anomaly, and then we just get the Abominable Avalanche token. We don't use puzzle boxes at all. So we're shocking in 1, 2, 3 for a Fabricated Anomaly. We make a puzzle box token. Let's Ozon's Blessing, view library here. Go find the Purifier of Dawnbloom Grove. And just pick off the Laystone here. And no attacks, because I do not want to just run this into a bus. We'll go to end step, make a 3/3. So unfortunately now Archival Storage gets to shut off Devika from the graveyard for 1 mana. Tapping 2 mana here. Play another Contest Coordinators in case the first 2 weren't enough. Yeah, this deck is going to be rough to try and beat. I do not like our odds. Illustrious Shengfa stayed in, but did they have land drop? That's the question. We see pay 1, play the Archival Storage almost certainly. There is still value to it. You shut off Anik here. And you can even pay like 1 mana, put a land back in my deck, so I just keep drawing lands. I will say, if I hit a land, I will probably stop puzzle boxing, especially if it's an untapped land, and I will just hold it up to block with Husk Forger and turn it into a 6/6. Or sorry, turn it into a 5/5. Actually, if I'm given the opportunity, I will probably, if I get an untapped land, hold swing with Husk Forger and put counters on it with both anomalies. Because if they try to block profitably with the Avatar token, we can just buff up the Acolyte and have it kill the Avatar. And that gets a 6/6 out of the way. We get the clearance to start swinging in more seriously. Okay, we do see the Archival Storage come in here. The mode to put cards on our from our graveyard on the bottom of our library is very real here. It's possible they want to just put away, like Forest Reaper maybe. Let's see. So yeah, we know Concord put a Shengfa in hand and put an Archival Storage in hand. They pay 2. Let's see if they are eating our graveyard to make Anomaly worse. Dawn Ward Minister. Okay, that is going to gain them life in addition to drawing them a card, which is pretty unfortunate. But we will untap. We will draw Ozon's Blessing. Not going to actually be too good here. So let's pitch the Blessing, draw Terminal Impact. I guess we just Terminal Impact the Avatar for 6, right? We've got the 6 mana. We Terminal Impact Avatar for 6. Have 10 cards in graveyard. We eat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Impact Avatar for 6. Take the opponent off guard with that. Let's just go to Rumbles and turn everything sideways. We're gonna eat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep Anik in the graveyard just on the off chance that we get to use it, but we have lost our 1 removal spell for archival storage. So everything but Acolyte in. It's possible we see like a quad block on Fabricated Anomaly here. But I don't imagine we get anything more than that. Opponent's probably thinking about the quad block here. And I think, block with the Concords and the human tokens on Anomaly is pretty reasonable. I probably just kill the human tokens over Contest Coordinator. Oh, they're going for a triple block on... Are they not going for triple block? It looked like they were thinking about it. Double block the... Oh, triple block Ignited Soul here. So I could leave Contest Coordinator, kill Token Dawnward Minister, leave them with 3. Oh, they're reconsidering that as well. I guess they're thinking about, what is most valuable on board here for us, and it is probably Anomaly, especially with abilities in Graveyard shut off. Survivor is a 4/3 with Trample. That is a very real text box. But especially if we can turn that into an untapped land to start swinging 5 next turn. I think a 5/5 is better than a 4/3. That's just math. So let's see what happens. Oh, they're just gonna chump the anomalies. That can't block the soul alone. Oh. Are they just blocking as much as they can? Okay, they are triple blocking the Ignited Soul. Okay. We're going to kill a Contest Coordinator. We deal 6 to them, lose the Ignited Soul, and then they're left with Minister's Contest Coordinator. And that's nice because it puts a 3rd card in our graveyard. So if we draw a land here, we can just go untapped land, swing with Husk Forager, put the counters on it, and then level it up to be a 5/5. The concern here is that they could just Shangfa take us out of the game. And if they do that, there's round 1. Not much we can do about that if they have land drop Shangfa. And we know they have Shangfa, so... I think if this is how this game 1 goes, or this is how round 1 goes, we just have to hope that we can really rock the rest of the tournament, and that someone else knocks this deck out of contention, so we don't have to fight this matchup again. Because this is a really, really rough matchup, I think. But yeah, I think the motto of the tournament is going to be: should have played Kieran Aboons. This card, so good, so good. Like it is Unspeaking Titan. It is Regice in red. That is my hot take. I really should have been on it. because of exactly situations like this. Like, especially if I'm on an Ozon's Blessing board, that probably would have been better than the Annex. Because quite frankly, when I looked at Davika, I was like, oh, I could board in Davika here. No, Davika's so bad here. If I draw Anik, I am looting it away immediately. Davika is just not gonna cut it. So yeah, Kirinaboons, that should be in the sideboard in place of Anik, almost certainly. And I probably should have considered trying to make room for it in the main as well. Not enough +1/+1 counter synergies for me to be super over the moon about it. But realistically, last season, we played Calamity Cat, which we're still on. We played Fabricated Anomaly, which we're still on. We played Foreign Encounter, which we're still on. I'm not sure I remember what the thing we cut from the last build of the deck was. I'm checking now. It's Menelea. Menelea Beloved Lyrist is the only thing we're not on that put +1/+1 counters into play. And that's because that rotated. Opponent said, very fun game this has been. I have no idea how to pilot this. Yeah. Well, now I'm just sitting here thinking, like, what other +1/+1 counter card could I have even run? So I guess while we're waiting on the opponents to make decisions here, let's see if I can run a quick search here. So KDT, ERR, CCR's Cheeky Chaos Reigns, Cliques of Nylons, Cyberos, and Old Dune are the set pool. And then let's just search on Cockatrice here. +1 counter. And then not in white, not in blue. We can even just leave black in here just for the sake of including it. So we could be on Scorching Gecko, which is not super great, but it's something we could have considered, especially if we wanted more counter synergies. We could have considered Risen Butcher's not super great, but we are on 10 shocks. Orochi Soulfang maybe, but I'm not super sold on it. Yeah, we're on Calamity Cat already. We could probably consider, Face of Animosity just for the same reason of just Trample being so powerful. Pressuring Ghoul is pretty good. Pressuring Ghoul is actually really nice, but we just don't have a whole lot of hand attack beyond Pressuring Ghoul to make this feel more impactful. We would really want something beyond just Pressuring Ghoul and Exorcist of Errors to get that hand pressure. Sundered Heretic, maybe if we were on more of a Vigor plan. Maybe Sunsoaker, but probably not. Maybe Regrafter, but probably not. Probably not Skittertiller. Maybe Dawnveil Infiltrator, but probably not that either. Definitely not Uncoiling Realm Spawn. And you're starting to see the problem here with, like, oh, we got to get more +1/+1 counter synergies. They're just not good. Undara of Fervor and Flame, whenever creature you control enters if you didn't cast it, which is just exclusively things we hit off of Foreign Encounter. And then that's everything that's monocolor at 2 mana. Shiori the Trickster, not really all that good. Portal Guardian, not really good for us. We see Hopeful Soul Space. Okay, we dodged the Shengfa this turn. That's actually huge for us. Us dodging the Shengfa here is even better than huge for us, because now if we hit an untapped land, 3 trampling plus 7 trampling here is a lot for them to have to fight through. To the point where they might have to block with both of their creatures. Soak up 3 damage. Actually, no, they don't really have a good block there anymore if they do, because this getting trample becomes really awkward. We swing with everything. 3 power across the board. And then this getting leveled up to be a 5/5 becomes a nightmare for them. Liz says, kill me. If you got a Plasma Strike, I can't. Actually, if they have Plasma Strike or Welkin Eviction, because Welkin Eviction cost reduced by planes and cycling cards in graveyard, 1, 2, 3, 4 planes, 2 cycling cards in graveyard. That is a 1-mana Welkin Eviction hiding here. We untap and draw. Mountain is the draw, so I'm going to just play the Mountain. We're going to go to combat. Swing with everything. Eat all 3 of our cards to buff up the Acolyte. Or nope, not 3 counters, it's just 2. Let's see what happens here. I believe this is the same Acolyte we put into play turn 1, so we milled one, we looted one. But we put this into play turn 1, and if it gets there, that's a really promising showing for Acolyte. Oh boy, this is nerve-wracking. And again, like, just kind of continuing through all of these, like, Adorned Kitsune, not really that good. Speculative Stockbroker is good, but not in the kind of strategy we're on. Cloud Grazer's just not what we want to be on. Garation's Presence doesn't really work with the deck at all, despite it being a counters card. Soul Hoarder, not really where we want to be. Karaja's Centipede, not really where we want to be. There's just... Okay, passing priority. I would like to attempt to... activate Acolyte. If they remove this, which they've got the Plasma Strike, of course, so Plasma Strike kills the Purifier, or sorry, the Husk Forger here. They keep Contest Coordinator. They go to 1. Oh, no. 2 mana. There was a possibility that that the best play for me there is to just not go for the lethal, but I had to make them have it. And certainly in the list of things that I could have been prepared for, 4 Plasma Strikes, it makes sense they boarded those in. They are going for Welkin Eviction. This costs 1. Yeah, this counts Laystones in the yard. But yeah, this is just devastating. We lose the Yeti. We only take them to 4 here. We get Shengfad, and this is rough. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be game here. We're gonna let it play out here, see if opponent misplays, because we do have Terminal Impact. Liv points out if they died to Terminal Impact, it was due to the misplay here. Shengfa comes down. -4, blow up all creatures. We lose these, and they're going to hit the puzzle boxes as well. That's really rough for us. Yeah. All right. See what we can find. Ignited Soul. We're going to have to just run it out. This does actually get through Shengfa here. Meaningfully gets through Shengfa. if the +1 is all that happens here. And then in addition to getting through Shangfa, sets the opponent to 3, which means nope, not in our graveyard anymore. Abominable Avalanche then becomes lethal as well. So we have 2 lethal outs. We are trying to dig for a chance for Ignited Soul to be opening the door for 3 more lethal outs. Passes with everything up. Okay, Plasma Strike almost certainly there. We're going to go try and do this. Yep, Plasma Strike. That was super telegraphed. Run out Calamity Cat. This is bad. This is profoundly bad. We still have we still have a window, but Laystone of Being wait. Okay, yeah, removes a counter to put Laystone of Being into play. That's going to shut the door very fast. Especially since we would need 2 cards in hand to Calamity Cat. So they go to 5. We still have 2 turns for Terminal Impact to do something. But once again, window is just closing very quickly. We see tap for 2, tap for 3, Casso's Belly, pick off Calamity Cat. Yeah. And then they've got a 4-1. That kills us pretty quickly. We untap. We draw. Oh my god. Oh. We're still in it. We're still in it. Movie ending. Justice. Alrighty. Yeah, okay. Anik out. Anik out immediately. Spirit Realm Phoenix back in. I want the hasty creature. I might even think about Moonlight Adversary here. Our life total is pretty unimportant. Maybe we go down an Ozon's Blessing. We go down. Tough choice. I think we go down Second Survivor. And that right there is why you don't concede until you know you're out. Because we had outs and we found them. Man, Terminal Impact for 6, kill a 6/6, and then Terminal Impact for 6, kill the opponent. Opponent says they're rethinking their sideboard plans. You and me both. Anik out for Moonlight Adversary, and then get the Spirit Realm Phoenixes back in as well. The real plan is turn 1 Laystone. So continuing on the like, what do we do for +1/+1 counters puzzle. There's just so many ways to pay off developing +1/+1 counters. There's so few ways to meaningfully develop the counters though. This is turn 1 Husk Forger, nothing turn 2. I would love to keep this, but there is just nothing that this hand does. We are on the draw, so we could try and hope that we draw a land, but on 20 lands, 19 in the deck, I think we got them all. I mean, turn 1 Ignited Soul is a lot better than Husk Forger in terms of getting us back into the game. It's more than a bit awkward. But I think I do have to keep it and just ship the Purifier back. Let's ship Blessing. No, let's ship Purifier here. Yeah. I can make Ignited Soul work here. I don't want to go to 5, but Ignited Soul can put in some work here. Plains, Laystone, of course. And we put back the Purifier naturally. We draw Fabricated Anomaly number 2. Ignited Soul. We pass. Turn 2, Contest Coordinator, Stonewalls, Ignited Soul, and then we are dead. Oh, Soul Space. Oh, we're not dead. They do go to 22, which sucks. We untap. We draw Sanguine Palace. That's pretty real. We're going to go to combat. We're going to swing 1. They have the Plasma Strike anyways. That's fine. Because I shock in Sanguine Palace and reveal the 2-drop I kept. And I pass. And if this had been Purifier, I could have taken away the Laystone of being here. That's 3 mana. Let's send in for 3. Let's loot away Spirit Realm Phoenix to draw a card. This gains first strike, and we do absolutely nothing else. Good lord. Yep. Yeah, this sucks. This is just a rough game 3 here. We're just out. I think the conclusion I'm coming to early on, Exorcist of Errors was cute. The black cards in the sideboard are cute. You know what's better than having a bunch of cute cards? Killing them. I once again just iterate. And I'll be saying it so much this month. I should have played Kieran of Boons. I got cute, and it's costing me. Oh, and they cycled Laystone of Being, so they're going to make a 4/4 here. And I think that's going to be a pretty quick scoop from me, because that's going to be 7 coming at me, and I am stuck on 2 lands. And the control deck just tearing away on the board. Not where I want to be in the slightest. Oh, Contest Coordinator too. Cool. Reveal a Laystone, just so I know I'm done. Nope, gets a Plains. That's fine. Notably, only 2 cards in hand. If we were a slower deck that could punish them for being so in on the board, that'd be great, but we're not. So they're going to make a 4/4 here. They've got 8 damage on board to our 13 life. I'm just gonna reveal hand and say GG's. We drew almost all 3-drops. We needed the Ignited Soul and Gilded Entertainer to get us out of this, and they just couldn't. Plains Welkin Eviction, in case we thought we had any shot. Plains puts Welkin Eviction to exactly 1 mana. Yeah, this was just unfortunate. Kept a very lean hand, hoped you didn't have too many Exorcists, and you didn't. All right. Yep, that's a loss here. We're going to have to fight our way back up to try and get into the top cut this month. And I think it's going to be a hell of a climb. So we'll see how it pans out for us. But yeah, even with multiple anomalies in some of those games, it was just hard. And their deck just goes wide so fast, and we have no way to get around them going so wide so fast. And I think especially with so many decks in this format being able to go wide, yeah, I miss him. I miss him so much. I wish I was on them, but I'm not. Well, let's see how much I regret that through the rest of the GP, because I'm certainly regretting that decision now. But yeah. Tough matchup for sure. Laced on it being really powerful magic card, contest coordinator really good when there's so many powerful things that you're grabbing, and especially when you're on such a plains dense deck, contest coordinator just does so much. So yeah, well played to Lih. Well navigated for saying that they don't have a whole lot of experience with the deck. They certainly put on a good showing there, and we are 0-1 so far this month. Let's see if we can turn it around. We have 3 more rounds, and if we can go win all of those, we can still make it to top cut here. So we've got a rocky road ahead of us. Let's make it work. See y'all in round 2.